All right, we should be live at this point, and apparently, according to the federal government, the DOW is doing fantastic, and there are aliens. We have
Right.
alien
Yeah.
life exists, according to the Barack of Obama and everybody else in government that, for some reason, seems to think that this is the most convenient time to spur that on the public.
Right. And then Trump at least initially make believing like, like, hey, he's putting some stuff out there that's none of his business to be putting that out there. That's I can't say one way or the other, but that's classified.
Oh yeah,
But then going ahead with it.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Right.
And excuse me if I seem a tad bit distracted. I am trying to post something for a buddy in here real quick.
Yeah.
We will
Hey,
should talk.
Rosie Crocker outdoors.
Yeah, we got Rosie Crocker in the house. Okay, right here, this link I posted is my buddy Josh, modern frontierman. He's got a strike about a week ago and spent his time in timeout, and then like one more day passed when he got off that current strike, and they hit his channel again for basically the AI saying he's violating rules that he's obviously not violating. If you even watch the video, you would know that there's none of what's happening in the video that the AI is giving him strikes for. So he's refired up the Patreon, and this link that I posted is a free year member subscription to that. So if and I'll mention this throughout the live, but in this chat, and I'll try to post it again later if I can. But yeah, you can go get a free uh, higher tier membership for a year on this. So take advantage of that way you can. There'll be exclusive content. So that's just to help my buddy Josh out. So what have we got on the docket tonight beyond aliens and Ghislaine Maxwell in Canada?
Oh, yeah. The whole Epstein and Ghislaine being spotted after she's, allegedly, yeah. No, like so my take on that is if they were picked up on a Friday, they were back to work, you know, selling peddling their product to the same clientele that they were by Monday. I
Right.
don't believe anything about it, anything that we're told. Yeah, none of it's even believable anymore.
Yeah. Just
And
the
then and
comparison.
and then the aliens.
Yeah. Then the alien.
Like
Which
anybody
I've
gives
always
a shit
believed.
about that.
I've always believed that there was something beyond just what we could see here. And in general, from what I understand, the Department of Defense, their official position on aliens is that it's dimensional and not extraterrestrial, like we've all got through Disney cartoons or whatever. And I would agree with that too. When Alex Jones is like, "These are demons." Yeah, I agree with Alex Jones on that. But it's just
Yeah.
funny that the wild flailing around the Epstein files, which they're never gonna admit to that. They're never gonna like show all of that. No heads are really gonna roll, but they are putting some
They're just
more.
they're just really, really awkwardly uh, uh cryptic emails about pizza and walnut sauce, and they're totally talking about food, but they
Right.
still have the feel that they need to redact the names of the people that are partaking in activities like walking the beef jerky across the street and then putting it in a freezer, or
Yeah.
walking away with you know uh uh you know pizza's eyeballs, or whatever the fuck they're whatever it is that they're doing, that's totally completely innocent, and exactly what it looks like on the face, and but for some reason they need to redact the names out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you know, I guess to me, it's for the government to come out and everybody be bumbling up on aliens type stuff. It's just I expected that anyway. Like it doesn't even phase me other than just mentioning it to the people that are like, did you see the Dow's at 50,000 and there's aliens? I like I'm not surprised at any of it. it's
Right.
really just a circus going on.
Dude, so many people at this point, regardless of where you're I mean, unless you're in like the upper crust or whatever, even people that quote unquote make good money are have a hard time um paying bills and getting by. They're not worried about how well the Dow's doing because they don't have millions of dollars in it anyway. That's well, just okay. So also kind of like, again, getting back to the alien thing, because I really like talking about that. I've got a lot of opinions on that. But to me, them tossing this alien thing out at the moment is exactly, they're like Mario Kart, like tossing banana peels out behind them, so hoping somebody's going to step on it and slip right off the Epstein trail is what they're all that is. Here's
Right,
here's here's something.
right. Well, like
Slip on this.
practically, like in a practical sense, what can the public do to just keep the Epstein thing going? I would say it's just to continue to notice and to keep talking about it. They want people
Yeah,
to
don't
quit
let it
talking
go.
about it. So to me, it's just the butt of every joke until we're gonna Charlie Kirk this thing. You know what I'm saying? We're
Dude, dude, okay. We knew about Blue Beam a long time ago. So it's not like we didn't, I remember making jokes after COVID about how we were going to go from Flu Beam to Blue Beam. So
yeah,
yeah, I was totally well, and the funny thing is this notion that okay, the people in our government, these low level managers in our government, would be an effective, okay, if let's say aliens are real and they're everything that they are going to pretend that they are, right? These Yeah, okay, so maybe they're not interstellar, maybe they're interdimensional, or however they want to spin it at this point. um the people AOC is an effective firewall between us and these travelers, right?
right.
Nancy, but Chuck Schumer, they need to go. They need Donald Trump and who I forget what's the name of the dork that they just caught, like taking other, like making other senators votes.
Oh,
You know who I'm talking about?
Randy Fine.
Randy Fine. They need Donald Trump and Randy Fine to arbitrate between us and them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, we're
Speaking of,
not sure how to make an entrance. Will can you guys do a quick read before we show up? That way the people know what to expect. Are you
you know,
kidding me?
dude. Just speaking of Randy Fine, like that guy wasn't even on my radar for a long time. And I guess he's
No.
a relatively new guy there, but he's so
Yeah.
like, dude, the guy on Twitter is like openly okay with just like genociding kids and stuff. Like he's the most openly, yeah, it's fine if we
Dude,
have
they're
to kill
mutts.
innocents to do
They
it.
they are mutts, is what they are. They're and then getting into the whole, one of the topics I want to talk about is about, if elections are even real. Okay, so let's think about this just from a logical, standpoint, just going right on down the continuum here. Okay, so if you have the the Wizards of Oz, right? The real movers and shakers, the big 12, or whoever they are, the guys that sit around the circle and talk to the devil himself or whoever they are. Do you think that they really would leave choosing a leader up to the cattle?
No, no, I don't think so.
No. No, and that's where I get my stance on, all of these politicians and shit that we see. They're all just scare actors in the haunted house, trying to validate that the haunted house is real until the moment that they go ahead and you know tell everybody that it's not, and it hasn't been for a long time. And a lot of people will be really shocked, and some of us really won't be. That's what I think.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what could actually like throw me through a loop for it to happen at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, what
No.
could possibly happen that would just throw me through a loop and be like, "Well, I didn't see that coming," or even
Be-
if I didn't see it coming, be like, "Oh, I'm totally surprised." It would have to be something like people actually go into prison for the Epstein files. That's the thing that I would not see coming and would be shocked. If it was like anything other than that, especially towards the bad end of things, like I expect the worst at this point.
Right. Right. I'd heard something, and man, I wish I could give the guy credit. It was Viking something I'd watched earlier, and it was actually somebody that he had got it from, and I thought it was hilarious that we're
It
going to
wasn't
get
Viking preparedness, was it?
no, it wasn't him. No, 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 no. No, it was some
Yeah,
other kind of deal. And but the thing that he said that we were going to get aliens before predators. I
yeah,
thought that was
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
funny.
We got Linchpin Supply in the chat. What's up, dude?
Yeah, what's up, dude? But
Got the old
yeah,
piggy
yeah.
sticker
The
here. Whenever you we still got to meet up, but I got your piggy sticker here, bro.
yeah,
Yeah,
bartering.
doing
Man, how is the
doing some.
government going to tax that?
Well, they got to have the Internet of Things. They haven't dropped
Right.
enough nanoparticles out of planes yet to give the knife an IP address yet. So
Oh
yeah.
man.
As far as people in the chat, we're just bullshitting tonight again, kind of like normal. These lives are never to be taken too seriously, but they are to be taken literally.
Yeah. There you go. Just a
So
couple of southwestern Missouri dudes talking some trash. That's all that it is.
right.
What would we know, right?
So so
Uh
did you
Stay tuned,
watch? Did you
go find
watch
an go find a real expert to learn what you're supposed to actually think about, what they want you to think about.
Yeah, if you need an expert or you need a sponsor, we're your sponsor. Um, did you watch the actual video that was supposedly Ghislaine Maxwell in Canada?
No, no, I wasn't able to pull that thing up.
Dude, it looks just like her. They did side by side, and like, how like people sort of have and I can see this in pictures I take where like one eye looks like my face assumes a certain posture every time I'm on a camera, right?
Right.
Whether it's some picture I'm taking or whatever, one eye's always a little squinted and the other's a little bigger
Right,
looking.
right.
Well, this lady, other than the white hair, looked exactly like Ghislaine Maxwell, and the
Well,
guy
kind of
standing
like
next to her,
Epstein. Yeah.
looked like Alan Dershowitz. If
Dude,
you ever noticed.
100%. I believe that. I believe that.
Yeah,
Um,
you should
yeah,
find the
yeah.
video later.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, the Muppet that they have in jail right now that you catch a picture of, come on. That's not really Ghislaine playing with puppies in prison. That's nonsense.
Right.
Um,
One of the mods, Teresa Buchanan. What's up? She keeps the
yeah.
riffraff out of here. I have a couple of
Oh,
mods.
sweet. Because they do show up from time to time. I've noticed I've noticed that trolls do like to appear from time to time. I was actually commenting with my wife earlier. I kind of wonder um if there's like an inverse proportion, like percentage of people that get love and respect at home as to how much of a troll they are. Going and picking on nonsense on people that are just kind of yeah, I
Right.
don't know.
So Teresa is asking who the guest is. I think she's going to try to share your channel out.
Oh yeah.
Tell your channel.
Oh, hawk face. HOCK, as in like hockey mask, hawk face.
But yeah, we're just sitting. This is my brother. We're just sitting
Yeah.
here, just doing what we do. So there's a troll in the dungeon. Yeah, we're fine. It's all right. I kind of like the trolls. You know, it kind of depends on how gay you get with the trolling as to whether I
Right.
really care. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
something
if you can't get any respect at home, then I guess you go and troll people's channels constantly. I don't know.
like I was talking with Josh a little bit earlier, modern frontierman Josh, and he was like talking about how he likes to agree with the troll comments on his channel. Like he will go find them and like find a way to agree with them.
There you go, right?
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Uh,
Just pour heaping coals, burning coals on their head by not allowing them to get what it is they're trying to get out of you.
right. Or
Just
you know,
ruin
there
their
are those
entire
like
night.
there are those guys that are like, you know, I can top you and I got better gear and you're out of shape or whatever. And it's like, you know, well,
Whatever nonsensical bullshit.
you know,
Yeah.
I may be fat or
Losers.
whatever, and that's all good, but I want to see you post videos. That's all. Just post some
Yeah. Yeah,
videos.
that's it. That's it. If you got if you're well, or for me again, the dudes that and this isn't just trolls on the internet, this is period, like somebody asking or inquiring how to do something, or they're trying to do something or learn how to do something, and then you have these dorks, these clown losers that pop up, acting like they came out of their mom's clam, already an expert at everything that when in all actuality, like you said, yeah, go make a video showing us how to do it the correct way. Show us the correct technique on film. If not, go back to playing with your stuffed animals or whatever it is that you do in your spare time, because
Right.
uh you're not proving anything other than you can run your mouth.
Says let's all peer pressure Chris to get an SKS. Dude, I don't even know that I need any peer pressure. I just need money, you know. I'm like Spanky from the Little Rascals. People, I need your money. I just need
SKSs
more
are
money to buy stuff like that.
SKSs are cool, dude.
I
And let
think
me
they
tell you
are.
something. Only because I've had one. Okay, so you have the Dragonov, the Tiger, which is kind of like a shorter Dragonov, and then you have the NDM 86, which is the Norenko version of that. Okay, now a Dragonov and Romanian PSL is not the exact same thing. A PSL is like a stretched out AK 47, right? You got the long stroke piston and the attached to the carrier, the whole nine. Okay, they're not the same. I've heard people refer to them as a Dragonov. They, I guess, can look Dragonov. That's not the same thing. A real Dragonov has has the same has more in common with an SKS than an AK-47. Okay, a real Dragonov is short stroke piston, exactly like an SKS.
Well, and as far as any and all of the makes that I've ever encountered of an SKS, and I've got to shoot several just from different countries and whatever, there's a reason something manufactured in 1950 hasn't needed any spare parts until
Since
today.
19. Right. I see BF Franklin 85 saying the Yugoslavia is the best. The Yugo's the one that has the big crazy looking grenade launcher attachment on the end and the grenade sight.
We got a 6-7er in here. Jeez.
Well, we started off talking about aliens and the nonsensical bullshit that our gub tries to shove down our throats and that we're supposed to believe. So, I mean, I would totally expect somebody to show up at some point, right?
Right. So Lynchpin was like, have y'all seen the PTR's anti-tank rifle? Just like a big SKS. Dude, that would be sick.
What round does it shoot?
It's a good
If it's
question.
anti-tank, it's got to be like I don't know, a
If we had
20 mil or
production
something. What
quality,
the hell?
if we had production quality right now, I'd be playing the Burt Gummer clip where he's like, "It's an anti-tank round, anti-tank." I need to get a PC and we could have like good movie clips and make this funny. But yeah, made in Russia.
Russia, was it Tula, or was it Molot, or what? Who made it? They practiced
25.
grenades for it. I think 25 millimeter. Man, that's some. That makes the old 50 BMG look like a little pea shooter there when you get up in them 20s, 25, 30 millimeter stuff. That stuff's
Dude,
honking.
I just like the simplicity of like Russian designs and just
Oh,
Slavic country designs, altogether.
right.
I think they make great weapons. If commies can do one thing right, it's make weapons.
100%. I am in total agreement, man. From the PKM, RPD, I mean, you just name it. Every if money was no option, I mean, I would have an entire arsenal of Soviet stuff, hands
Right.
down.
Hell yeah. So, Linchpin Supply, have you been getting any dings from the AI on YouTube as far as like your content? Have they been hitting your channel? They've been hitting Josh Modern Frontierman's channel. I can tell you that. Um, and by the way, at the very top again of this, I'd posted a link to a year subscription to Modern Frontierman's new Patreon, and it's free for a year. So if any of y'all in the chat are interested in that, you can get in behind a paywall for exclusive content on his channel right now. Go help him out. It's like, nah, I don't upload enough of this. Probably,
Yeah, it, it
I
appears
see
that
you
they're
more on Instagram than anything else.
it appears that they're trying to risky Krisky modern frontiersman is what it appears like.
Dude, I think they're doing it to a lot of gun guys though. Unless you're like with Leviathan and got a in with like you're selling Sonora Desert Institute at the end of your videos and shit. You don't get in trouble if that's going on, but probably because half of those guys are most likely government people with a change of station just out here as
Glowies, yeah,
influencers to stir the pot. But like the average guy just wanting to show off his setup and that type of thing.
right,
You post something that like isn't even like doesn't even require a tax stamp and you're getting in trouble and just the AI dinging you for it.
right,
I kind
yeah,
of feel like
yeah.
that's the future of my channel as far as like the things that I say. Like I think eventually once my channel gets enough traffic, me saying things critical of the tiny hats and things like that is going to start getting a few things from the past taken down. I think that's
Oh, I'm
probably
sure. Yeah, yeah,
Survival Buzz. What's up? He's got a good channel,
yep.
Survival Buzz.
Cool, cool. What's
Yeah.
up?
Makes me want to go to Rumble. Dude, I have a Rumble. It takes like an hour to upload a video. My problem is just the clunky system. However, I do have it on the docket to start uploading my stuff there as a just a backup. I just kind of want to get a computer to do it to where I can just download from YouTube what I've got, make a thumbnail, throw it up, and just walk away from it for an hour to let it do its thing. Yeah, old videos get flagged and then start getting taken down left and right. Yeah, that's pretty much the way I've seen it. Dangerous Freedom is like once you get enough subscribership, they start dinging your old stuff where you had said it's something spicy. And then there's the Last Huntsman Outdoors just
Yeah,
popping here. What's up, dude? We're
yeah.
just in here bullshitting. Probably going to talk about pet peeves of social interactions and aliens and Randy Fine and the tiny hats and SKSs, you name it, man. We are we are kind of at large, just ADDing it up tonight. It's the juice.
Right.
Got the
Jeez.
juice, and it's not OJ.
That's funny.
But yeah, what
Oh
else you got on
man.
the list over there, man?
Well, the pet peeves, dude. I ran right into one of these son of a bitches at Walmart earlier, dude. This one particular pet peeve of mine, like it really, like I get to experience this almost every trip to Walmart. But do you have you got any particular pet peeves that really
Dude,
piss you off?
I just kind of like this was said to me recently that in the workplace, they're like, dude, you don't ever completely blow your stack, but the fuse is always smoldering with you. You know, and like I guess I can just remember more times where like I did finally just kind of snap a little bit. Like somebody, I guess this is a pet peeve. Somebody, and this was in Anderson. Okay, we're pulling into Casey's in Anderson, and this guy is like getting off the road. Like it's the same road that goes between the feed mill and the Casey's,
Yeah,
right? Okay,
yeah,
he's pulling off on there, and the guy is taking a fortnight to get off the main road, and I'm trying to get off behind him, and there's a truck coming up 59.
yeah.
And so it's coming, and like I can remember being in the driver's seat, the windows down. It's summertime, and this guy is like I said, taking forever. And I finally just snap and like scream the word "go" like as loud as I can. And you know that I'm a man of volume when I need to
Right.
be. And dude, this guy like he was just like, and then like the truck, like the back of his truck, squat down and lunged with how much he gassed it. And I guess he'd just never been screamed at like the guy behind him was a black bear behind the wheel. But I just freaking lost it. And I don't, I
That's
try to keep
funny.
myself under control rather than blow a gasket like that. But it was just so annoying that like my feet were curling up in my shoe, and I was like, all right, get off the road. So yeah, people not pulling off the road is like in time is like a thing with me that just enrages me.
Right, right. Yeah, like your car isn't going to lose gravity and fly up into the fucking sky if you actually get off the road in a timely manner, right? Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So what
Well,
was your
my
Walmart deal?
oh dude, this okay, so I've got a 9-year-old son and a 3-year-old daughter, right? So they have these nifty things nowadays called family bathrooms. And every time I'm at Walmart, and it doesn't matter which one, all of them, I need to my 3-year-old daughter needs to go to the bathroom or something. So here I go. It's locked. There's no other carts around. So I wait, and then, some 17-year-old boy Walmart employee comes out of there after 5 minutes. Dude, every time I am at Walmart, it seems like I run into that same bullshit of a teenage male employee camping in the family bathroom. Walmart, if you're listening, you should make it a policy and post it on the wall right beside that family bathroom that if a Walmart employee is caught holding the family bathroom up, that they are fired immediately. Why the hell have a family bathroom so that I can traipse my daughter through the male restroom because there's a fucking 17-year-old dude in there taking bathroom selfies or snipping crunched up pills off the back of the toilet. I don't know what he's doing, but that's every single time I go to Walmart. That is every time.
Back there on the
Guaranteed,
toilet
one of
doing
my
a
one of
reverse
my two, one
cowgirl.
or both of my kids need to go to the bathroom, and the family bathroom's full, not of another family, but of a
Just
16-year-old male. That is a pet peeve.
yeah.
That pisses me off. Dude, one of these days I'm going to verbally attack one of these guys over this. I really am. Like that yes, I am a long fuse kind of guy. But the poor son of a bitch that actually gets to hear from me over this, it's he deserves it, but he didn't earn the entire the entire
He's
canon
he's
worth
going to
all
reap the
by
whirlwind,
himself.
is he?
Oh man. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's my big pet peeve.
But I guess I don't know that I would call this a pet peeve, but like something about like talking guns with somebody who is trying to impress you. They don't know what they're talking about, and of course they got a 50 cal and whatever else, uh, which isn't that impressive. You can buy a 50 cal. Anybody can go buy one, but just like,
You can
you
get a
get what
50
I'm
caliber
saying?
to slap on an AR. Yeah.
Yeah, or like, dude, the guy that's in the boog is going to become the neighborhood sniper. He doesn't need anything else because he's got a 6.5 Creedmoor and a 30 power scope, and he's just going to sit in his deer stand and fend off the world on his property. Like there's a lot of these people that I work with, or not a lot of them. There's a few of them that I work with. Uh, let's just say in social environments that aren't necessarily at an employer, but I've been around them enough, and
Right.
there's always some like, it's always some bullshit. Like they can always like 400 yards is nothing, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
just
Yeah.
just the same hole. I mean, without even trying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about, especially as it pertains to firearms because they're so man, I've heard some nonsensical shit before. But I even heard stuff like that when I worked at the same place you did when I was younger. And dude, like I was a I was pretty big and strong back then. And I would hear dudes say bullshit that's they pick this brush hog up off the ground and set it in the bed of their truck or something. I'm like, you picked a brush hog up and just set it like with your hands. You put your little mitts on it and you just picked it up and set it in the back of a truck like this, huh? How much do you reckon that weighs? And they're like, oh, like 500 or 600 pounds. And it's like, dude, like, okay, like at that time, like I was big and I was strong. And I knew what 700 pounds felt like picking it up. And there's no way that this dude built like Hank Hill is picking anything even remotely like that up. They're just not.
Yeah.
Man, when they were, but of course, and of course, when they were younger, they were twice the man I will ever be in my life. They were so big and so bully that they would just crush door handles walking through. They didn't even know how strong they were. They just go to pick up a glass and it just bust in their hand, or they'd smash a door handle flat trying to walk through it because they were so strong and stuff. Yeah, dude, I've heard so much horse shit. And the thing is, the saying is that you can't bullshit a bullshitter, but that's not true. That's the only person you can bullshit. Okay. Because here's how the bullshitter economy works. If you make believe that you believe my bullshit and I make believe like I believe yours, then you have this little bullshit Ferris wheel that just goes around in perpetuity just forever, right?
Right. I
You
mean, if we
know,
could harness that for energy production, it'd be great
yeah,
because
it'd
it
be
would
it'd
never
be
end.
it'd
But
be it'd be greater than what is it, a cat with buttered toast strapped to its back. It just would spin and spin and never hit the yeah.
right.
That's funny.
He said, last huntsman said, hey, trench grenade heights. He shoots his 10.5 AR to 750 meters with a red dot.
Yeah, I bet he does. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure he
Yeah.
does.
I bet he
You
eats
know,
all of his carrots, for the eyesight.
for the ice. Right, right. Yeah, the stuff I've seen out of that dude before. Yeah, I believe. Well, I mean, I even hate to say I believe that he believes that, but I believe that he said it. I believe that he said that. Yeah, absolutely.
I guess my thing is with that particular issue, for some reason, it's a sticking point with me because it's like, okay, if you're going to lie to me about, I think the most important hobby in America, and I know you're full of shit, there's not anything else I want to talk to you about. Like that's kind of the end of like possibility of like being an associated person. Like I'm not gonna like make friends with this guy, or if I had previously been friends with this guy, there's like a drawback of like, oh, this is a bullshitter, you know.
Right. Yeah, because here's the thing. What once that that level of credibility has dropped, there's really not a hell of a lot of business to be had after that because everything that they say, there's a probability of horseshit attached,
Right.
you
You know,
know?
and I didn't.
And who the hell has the energy nowadays to fight off the fight off the incoming, strategize against the incoming alien horde and decipher, what's bullshit and what isn't, with some lame that you work with or something. Yeah.
Right.
Too
I've
much.
got a
It's too
pretty good
much. Too much
meter
energy
for it.
expenditure.
I've got a pretty good meter for it. I am a professional noticer,
Yeah.
just as at a base level. But
Oh yeah.
another
I
one
think
that
dangerous. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say another one we could talk about without mentioning names was the kind of guys that want to get involved in the like a group with you, and then they exhibit a bunch of like fed behavior, and by fed behavior I mean like they want to store things in your house while talking about being broke a lot and but
Yeah.
having all the coolest toys. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
shit. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like poor enough to need to get food at food banks, but can afford like some really good equipment,
And not
whereas,
even really look capable of running it, but like, yeah,
but somehow has all the connection to have all of that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That's a thing. Or yeah, yeah, there's a whole lot of window dressing to look a certain way, but then like analyzing all of the data points, the math never actually adds up.
right, right.
Just yeah, it definitely looks like a glowy, maybe I'm wrong, but definitely
I
looks
mean,
like a glowy.
but then they're really invested in being a Viking, but then get vaccinated. you know, like
Yeah, that's what I'm
I'm a
saying.
rebel
Like,
and a Viking, but I'm gonna go. I need to go ahead and get the Johnson and Johnson. Jeez, man.
right. Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I'm saying. I don't know if there was a whole bunch of pretend or just, or again, if that was a federal deal, because there was some really weird, there's some weirdo kind of shit.
yeah, there
Um,
was, and it just got more and more.
and it got more and more. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Although an actual bona fide heathen, like truly believed and even could quote like scripture out of the hymnal or whatever it is, I would be interested to hear their testimony, like how Thor came to them in their lowest time and saved their life or whatever.
Yeah,
How they were rock bottom and didn't know which way to turn, and Loki came to him in a vision and
right.
spoke some wisdom to him and helped him out.
I'm gonna put headphones on my kid here while we're
Yeah.
doing this. Um,
Don't
but
look. Don't look at me.
just stay off the internet, baby. But yeah, okay. So don't touch that. So last Huntsman was like, you got to have your $7,000 rifle, your $2,000 optic, NVGs, and two MREs in a day pack for survival. You know, I recently did the whole like 3 and Flea video for like gun stuff, and I fully expected to get roasted for how basic my weapon was. Like it was just
Yeah.
a red dot on an AR with just some basic, just very basic light and stuff. But it's a lot of people were actually pretty positive about it. I was kind of surprised.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I think that there's probably still those groups that are kind of gear query, like they like they like you have to. Well, here's the thing. If you don't have $15,000 worth of kit, you want your family to die. That though those kind of losers. Um, but again, not man. I just don't know how they're how capable those folks would really be because you know in the real world the Indian is greater than the arrow. Okay, and instinct and will to survive and a sharp stick and the element of surprise, you knowing you're fixing to do something and the other person not, is probably going to get you further than a whole bunch of snazzy looking shit that you take pictures of for social media. You
Right.
know, I mean, in reality.
Yeah. I mean, and you and I have said this before, like, you know, most of the world that's been engaging in some sort of combat, like take this the child soldier with the damn losing Super Bowl team ball shirt on, bamboo flip flops, and an AK that doesn't have a top cover. That's like 9 years old and smoking hand rolled cigarettes. You know,
Liberian, yeah, Liberian child soldier chewing cat and yeah, with his either his old Lee Enfield or yeah, because we ran into that before with the whole needing an $800 plate carrier or whatever, and anything under that, even like what was it, a Voodoo Tactical or Condor was garbage. You want to die if you buy Condor stuff. And it's like, here's the thing: if we look at this from logical data points, that Liberian child soldier kills and will die, has you know killed who knows how many people. He has a machete and flip-flops and a shirt that's 5 times too big and a weapon and a like some kind of a canvas sack to put all of his shit in, you
yeah,
know,
and then skills on top of that. It just lived experience.
and and no training, right? Training is not dying today, and then every encounter that you survive, you're a little wiser for the next one, right?
Right.
And
Yeah. It's hard. I'm not against purchasing training, and I plan to
no,
do it.
not at
But
all.
like the guys that are over there, like in the muck, the kid, the the model of kid soldier we're talking about didn't have modern tactical training. A lot of it's just lived
No,
experience type stuff. But
yeah.
I still think
Now,
training schools
granted,
here are a good idea. You
right
know,
now, granted,
but
he's
like
not.
running around being like, I gotta have dual nods and a drone and dudes are running around acting like they're gonna be the next military, but they don't have resupply. They got all this shit that's gonna need resupply, but there's not an ammo truck coming for you. There's nobody gonna drop more shit off to you. Like how long are
No,
you gonna carry around your freaking $5,000 worth of night vision after the batteries have shit out on it? You know,
right. Well, that's that three and flee thing. Just as kind of a lighthearted joke, I was just gonna, I thought about briefly about making a video about my old 18-inch single shot 10 gauge.
dude,
That's my credit card. That's my shop. I'm gonna go.
do it.
I'm not gonna worry about taking three with me or worry about what the federales might have. I'll just go shopping. I'll go pick up my three later.
Right. Dude, honestly, you should do a video on that. That's just a classic. I want to see that thing again. It's been a minute. Dude, I have
you know.
fired that one-handed with some buckshot in it before. That's like a
Oh
handgun.
yeah. Right, right. And again, maybe the 8-year-old child soldier from Liberia isn't as badass as a D boy or Spetsnaz or something. But you know what? Neither is the shit talking trolls on social media. You
Right.
know,
So Dangerous Freedom was talking about like Valor Ridge and Warrior Poet Society. I think it'd be cool to go to those dudes. I would actually really like to go to Valor Ridge, but also like Prepared Citizens, Jay over at Prepared Citizens TG, and he's one of those guys that I have like an affiliate thing with that I would like to get down there and do training with him. He does classes and things like that. So if I was to spend some money to travel and do it, it would probably initially be with those guys because I kind of already have rapport with them, and I'm not trying to be anything I'm not. I don't consider myself any kind of like super tactical Minuteman. I mean, if you look at my channel, I'm more bushcraft, just prepper type shit with some guns. Just because I don't want to present myself as anything I'm not. I might do more gun content after I had some classes. Just and I'm gonna decide what I think's usable and what's not when I'm done with that. But
Yeah.
and there's
Well, okay.
putting
I think
prepared citizens on there.
that that like that tactical training and stuff like that. I think that is a lot like martial arts. Uh, I think maybe you're increasing probability,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
but without okay, it's just like somebody there's black belts that could get their asses beat off by street fighters, right? Somebody that's just
yeah,
they've never taken a class of anything in their life. They're just a tough son of a bitch, and they've been in enough street fights that they just their probability of winning that type of encounter is just a little bit higher. You know, I think that the tactical training and stuff I think that it's kind of the same thing. You're probably, you know, you're not taking classes, you're not on the same level as somebody who may have been in that type of scenario before, just because there's a lot of chemical things that happen in your body in under certain stressors and things like that. But I think
right.
that any little thing that you do increases your probability of coming out
Right,
coming out in a given
exactly.
situation.
I'm going to answer this real quick. Teresa
Yeah.
asked about what my promo code for prepared citizens is. It's all just Mo Survival in all caps. So and that gets you 10% off from anything at Prepared Citizens. And also, I don't know if it's starting now or here pretty quick, but there's going to be like a 3D printed knife he's going to send me, and that's going to be like if you have an order over $50, you'll get a free 3D printed knife with an order using my code. So that's kind of cool. You can use it to train your kids or whatever, just knife usage or just handling it and getting used to it. And I'm going to try to find some like flesh targets and see if I can poke some holes in it. I'm going to like try to actually find uses for this 3D printed knife beyond like letter opener status just for the hell of it because it just piques my curiosity.
Another thing, another component, I think, of taking the classes and stuff would be confidence. And I know that sounds like you know that doesn't sound like that's as big of a component as that really is. But
Right.
I think a lot of encounters. And I'm not trying to make myself out to be some kind of gunslinger because I'm not. I've not.
No, but as far as the
Um,
martial arts thing that you just mentioned, you have a couple of decades in and out of various
right.
martial arts things, to the point of being a instructor for a good period of time. So it's not as if you
For
don't
two different
know.
martial arts, yeah.
Yeah, as well as some knife classes that you were taking and things like
Right,
that.
right. And
It's not
and
as if you
and
are an
there's
untrained guy justifying lack of training.
no, 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 no. And what I'm getting at with the confidence thing, certainty, that doesn't mean that you will win an encounter or that you will come out on top in an encounter, but going into that with the certainty that you are going, that you are going to survive this, you are likely to make split second decisions you know, that are more favorable towards that outcome than if you go into this knowing that you're either going to get your ass kicked or you're not going to survive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when whatever tag you're talking about becomes real time, you're running off of your like instinct and very split second decision making, and just having the confidence was a difference between Mike Tyson getting his between absolutely beating somebody to a pulp and then later on in his career getting his ass handed to him by the same guy.
Yeah.
The psychology of that of what Customato had going on with Mike Tyson there was really the key to Mike Tyson being the animal that he is. And I'm just bringing that up to highlight just one of the kind of like aspects or benefits of training that you don't really think about. You think about the tactile, learning to, shoot, move, and communicate, and how I would do this or that or the other thing. But just the confidence that if this goes down, a situation similar to this goes down, I'm going to come out on top versus,
Right.
you know, maybe I will, maybe I won't, probably I won't, I mean, do you get what I'm saying there with that? The
Yeah.
whole
Yeah, I
confidence
do.
and certainty aspect of that?
Yeah.
Because your
Well,
psychology really is pretty much everything.
like in
People have been
thinking
killing
about,
people. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, contemplating the unthinkable. In my discussions with various people that I'm friends with, there are a lot of people that don't want to actually think about the kind of situations that we're talking about. Like they don't even want to go down that path in their mind. And if you can't like kind of pre-decide on those decisions, and then if you've got the time and the money to go to a class, pressure test that and scenario based stuff, but
Yeah.
just not being able to go there in your mind is going to be a problem. You need to have enough of a mindset that you've kind of pre-decided in certain criteria what you're going to do. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and there's other things that you might learn depending on the type of class or whatever you do.
Yeah,
Just like we had done some live fire with a guy we know in an old house,
yeah,
and just from that, I learned that bullets follow walls because I saw it firsthand.
yeah, yeah,
Just
exactly.
one of those things that you would never think about. If you weren't told that by uh somebody that knows, and then seeing it with your own eyes. I
Right.
watched it.
Well,
I know where that where that firearm was fired from, at what angle it was fired from in the other room, and then I watched in the room I was at that bullet skid down a wall. So
right,
had you been laying up against that wall, you would have ate that,
right. And that same guy, and this was like about a year ago. We went out to his house and we did some shoot and move drills, and just kind of we were just taking it slow, but like just getting the body mechanics down, and being able to continually move to some degree while you're firing. That was a kind of a cool experience. Of just
Yeah,
if you don't do it often, it can be problematic. Like what Dangerous Freedoms was talking about is like dry fire. I've done quite a bit of dry fire practicing, the same thing that me and him did,
yeah,
just to try to keep you know the the mechanics of it down, because you can kind of like get your steps off and sort of be in a wrong position even while you're moving and trying to reload. It's kind of
yeah.
crazy.
Well, and that's just my own, something I used to do a lot was, if the whole family was gone, because it'd be kind of weird if everybody is trying to watch TV and you're doing this. And it's another reason why I'm a huge AK-47 fan, AK period,
Yeah,
74, whatever it is, you name it, is that the manual of arms being exactly the same, whether that magazine is loaded or not. And then on an AR, it is not that. If you shove an empty magazine up in there and then you rack the handle back, now your bolt's hung open. On an AK-47, it doesn't do that. And I would practice. I would pick things out outside the house as targets, and I would go through the house dry firing and reloading from my chest rig, and and I would always practice. I know there was this big thing. I don't know if it was like a Hollywood thing or a tactical thing at one point of like taking the one magazine and racking the other one off into the yard or whatever before you do your thing. That was never my deal. I always would skin the magazine. I would grab the other one and I would reload and then stow away the empty, because after all, to a point you made earlier, you know, if I am a citizen, doing that kind of stuff, I'm not operating out of a fob somewhere. There is no resupply. There's no big crate full of shit gonna parachute out of the sky for me later. Whatever I have is what I have until I don't have that
Yeah,
anymore. And
and I
so
don't
and so
plan on
chucking all
having.
your magazines off in the yard just seems like a dumb idea to me.
Right. Well, and there's a lot of like flatlander type stuff you'll see on YouTube. I don't plan on being out in the open for any of that shit. I mean, I'm
No,
sure
ideally
it could
not.
it could happen theoretically, but I'm gonna avoid having to be in those situations, even if I have to take the long way around in a wooded tree line somewhere where
Oh
there's
hell yeah.
ballistic protection. You know.
Right. Well, and just like, yeah, just like if you were traveling in a weird scenario like that, staying a couple of 100 yards off of the road,
Yeah.
or traveling on the military crest there below the actual crest, so you're not silhouetting yourself on against the sky, or whatever.
Right, dude. There's some good books out there from a Christian perspective. I think I have one right here. I'm gonna grab it real quick. I can find it. Dude, these are pretty freaking rad. Tactical
What is
wisdom.
that? I've never even heard of that.
It's Joe Dolio. He's got like 7 of them or something, but they're kind of like, and he's
They
got
look
skin
like
in the
old
game.
military manuals.
It is, but it's from a Christian perspective. So there's like scripture in them, but at the same time, there's like lessons and stuff and like visual diagrams. It is like a
I've
field
never
training.
even heard of that.
Dude,
That's radical.
these are the shit. I like them.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. I never even knew that was a thing. That is cool.
Yeah, definitely go look these up. There's like tutorials with like drawn diagrams about how to properly sandbag a wall and kind of the just ways to like set up behind the wall to where you're offset from where they would assume your body position is and things like that. So I thought that was
Right,
a
right.
cool deal.
See, and that honestly, and on the tactical training, I don't know, like a lot of the trailers and stuff that I've seen, for some of it seems kind of bunk, and I'm not saying that it is, but uh like that's the kind of stuff, that I think would be cool to in a class,
Right.
and maybe they all do that I don't know, because I've never been to one. So I'm
Right.
not trying to act like I'm some kind of an expert on
Yeah.
tactics and things like that.
I
I've
I've
just
done
picked
a
up
little bit of
things here
I've
and
done a
there.
little bit of shit, but I don't have any formal training. So I
Right.
basically that's why I say I don't have any training.
Yeah.
There may be things I've done with people and learned some stuff, but that's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, go. Got the kiddo out here. Sorry,
Oh yeah. Always got the
but
kids running around.
yeah, that's I don't know. I really would like to do some training at schools and stuff like that, and especially like the medical side of stuff. That's another thing I would like to get into is to go take something beyond just stop the bleed classes, but like the whole like drag somebody out of a situation, while you're still having to put rounds in the opposite direction and stuff like that. I think that'd be good. I think that'd be cool stuff.
Right. Yeah.
There's a YouTuber that's got a drill. I forget the name of it, but he calls it like it's like some like the dog drill or something where he's got his like full grown dog on him, carrying it around like. And this guy's even though I hate the word felon and don't believe in it, he's a felon, so he's using like an airsoft of some sort and putting rounds on target. and carrying this dog around and trying to like get off the X with weight on you that's like literally moving weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like live weight. So yeah, I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool. It would be kind of interesting to get into situations like that where you had to like carry somebody and continue to try to put rounds on target. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. I see that Teresa put down the Tactical Wisdom 5 book series paperback edition, the link to that. That's cool.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. Those are great books. And just from like there's a lot of Christian dudes in the Minuteman sphere, and yeah, I say a
Yeah.
lot of things I shouldn't say, but I'm a Christian. I'm a believer. Should probably be a better example of one. But like this, there's a lot of just I don't know. It's one of those things that kind of just reaffirms that being prepared and self defense are biblical. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a pussy. Jesus wasn't a pussy. You
No,
know. So
absolutely not.
yeah,
No. No, he wasn't, nor will he be when he comes back as the general of heaven's armies and blood a horse's bridle high and a stadia long and all that. He won't be one then either.
right. So I thought that was kind of cool. So what else you got on the list here? Because I'm
Oh
getting brain
man.
fog.
Uh let's see. What about like just like really cool gear you've had that maybe you don't have anymore and cool gear that you would like to have at some point in the future?
Right.
Gear
See,
slash guns,
I'm
guns always
I'm a
fit in there too.
I'm a simple dude. I honestly I would like a couple of AKs more than anything else. Just like some good, solid, reliable AKs with red dots on them. I've got ARs, but I just like an AK. You know what I mean? I like a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit
What
heavier round.
in any specific make and model or what turns you on?
Like honestly, an AKV to start with, and I know that's a 9 mil,
Oh, the
but
9 mil, yeah.
but
Yeah.
and that would be more for like just practice and training and running around, and it's you can afford the
Like a
the ammo for it
Vityaz.
pretty easy.
Yeah.
But like, dude, I would be fine with a Wasser as far as like a 7.62 by 39 or
Yeah. There's
or,
nothing
or
wrong
one of
with
those
those.
Pioneer AKs like Linchpin Supply. Me and him's been talking, and he's really preaching the Pioneer Arms ones. And I know there's people that hate those, and they're kind of a budget item, but in 5.56, so you'd be using
Yeah.
American like an American caliber. You know what I'm saying? In a
Sure. Yeah. Well,
and
especially if
in
you
the
already have
past
a whole
that's been a
bunch of it.
mistake. I've heard that in the past 5.56 AKs were a mistake, but it's not the past anymore. They're starting to be better guns as far as that goes, and more capable of running a 5.56 straight wall
Yeah,
carbine.
yeah, yeah. There's if you ever heard of Clayco 47,
Yeah,
it's a okay, yeah, it's a naked dude that his like that's what he runs in competitions is 5.56 AKs.
yeah.
He doesn't
I'm
seem to have problems with them.
I'm not so sure because I was talking to this is me and Lynchpin Supply talking. He was getting involved in some sort of like AK SKS competition. I'm not so sure that he isn't doing some of that. I'm pretty sure that
Yeah,
what he was talking about may have something to do with that. Take it easy, Dangerous Freedom. Thanks for the comments and all that and watching, bro.
yeah, yeah.
We still got 9 people in here.
Yes, sir. You have a good night too. Um, the okay, so what would be? I mean, is there just you just talking? Yet the rifle's fine, or is there a specific setup that you prefer?
Dude, just simple, with some good quality mags and like a hollow sun on top of it and just wood furniture,
Yeah,
really basic stuff. If I have my preference, some good solid furniture that's been in a war zone and got freaking jihadi
battlefield
scratches all
pickup.
over it just for the hell of it,
Yeah,
on a good running gun that's been remanned and going to be good for the next 50 years, right?
right.
I just like rustic looking stuff. Like all of my knives look like shit, and I love it. So
Okay, so I could agree with you on the AK thing, but for me, I'm I love the aesthetic of the wood, but something that I learned patrolling the farm when this has been a couple of years ago when I was doing this and doing it like on the regular, is hopping in and out of a vehicle constantly. Honestly, something with a folding stock worked one hell of a lot better for that.
Right.
So I would have to out of all the ones that I've had, I would have to nod to the Rifle Dynamics 501. It had the triangle side folder. It had an Ultimac on it, and I had an MRO, and I had a Surefire Scout. But honestly, for the money, dude, I haven't had any issues. I have more issues out of that Surefire than I ever had out of a Streamlight. And Streamlight is way more affordable than, than freaking or more $100 for for a little Surefire. But I've heard the same thing about like, how aim points are, that's it, nothing but an aim point. But I've had several MROs, and to me, I've had no issues out of them. Well, you know what? I take that back. I had one that died in 500 rounds. It's when I bought that Krebs AC-15, and me and you went out to the farm, and I shot like 500 rounds that day or something. And that MRO crapped out, and I contacted Trigicon, and they said send it. And they sent me the whole shipping label, and they sent me back a brand new one with no questions asked. So
That's
I don't
pretty
know how
cool.
you can beat that.
Right. They have a, I think it's a TAC 79. Do you know what? It's kind of like a grenade launcher, but for civilians.
What is it,
Uh,
like a 30? What is it, like 34 millimeter deal or something, or what?
yeah, something to that effect. I can't remember. I know it's one of them things that old Josh, Modern Frontierman, got that he got dinged on his channel for it a while back, but pretty badass though. You had various different rounds with it. I think a couple of those with some real usable shit would be cool. Not just like a smoke or a flare or something like that, but like I don't know, if you could somehow make that into something that was a little more spicy, that'd be pretty rad.
Right, right. No, there. I could see a use for something like that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I mean,
Something
hell, even
besides
if it was a
shooting a
flashbang.
parachute in the air, or whatever the hell they're good for, or the rounds that you can get for them.
I think you can get like a flare, you can get a smoke, and like a civilian legal flashbang type of thing,
Right.
but that's about it.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
this.
you don't want a whole bunch of disenfranchised civilians running around doing 2A shit, so you got to keep them clamped down, you
Yeah,
know.
pretty
You
much.
you don't you want them believing in the freest country in the world that they're just one SCOTUS appointment away from losing their whole Second Amendment.
Right,
That's what you want in the freest country in the world with with a Second Amendment.
right,
Everything rides on who the next, if the next president is a Democrat or Republican, or we're gonna lose everything. I keep seeing this bullshit coming across
dude. I
my
can't even tell the
Facebook
difference
feed.
anymore.
No, there is no difference. It's a
There's no
pincher
difference.
maneuver. It's a pincher maneuver to get the largest majority of people funneled into a controllable mass.
Right,
They dance a little puppet out over here and the R's bitch, and then they dance a little puppet out over here in the D's bitch. But in all actuality, they're just funneling you into a controllable mass. Is all that even paying that any credence whatsoever is doing.
right. I'll say this: we don't have to hop off quite yet, but the battery is starting to die on the phone.
Yeah,
Getting down
yeah.
there. What else you got on the paper? I know we have a we sort of make a little bit of a list and then just bullshit around it.
Yeah, gear lessons learned. Do you have anything that you particularly learned from, like an idea or concept that you had until you actually started using it, and then it didn't quite go that way?
Well, it wasn't an idea or concept, but I did have a stuck case like a year ago, and for some reason I thought I could just knock it out. And dude, I forgot to pull the bolt before I started, which is so retarded.
So you were banging against a bolt-in battery.
Fucking stupid.
So you had steel locking lugs in recesses that you were. I'm
Dude, I mean,
only laughing because it seems like something I would do too.
but like as soon as I just realized what I had done, I was like, you're retarded. You're freaking retarded. All I
Oh,
had to do
dude.
was
Yeah.
open that thing up and pull the bolt, and it wouldn't have been, or at least pull the charging handle, have the thing on a 45, and then hit it. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally screwed that up to where I had like a brass uh cleaning rod like compacted into it. So I had to like pull the whole fucking thing apart. Like, dude, it was. I mean, I got it back together and it's good to go. But I was just like, the whole time, I'm like really embarrassed of myself. And now I'm telling it on live to everybody. But that's the truth of it. If you're honest, you're gonna make dumb mistakes. In this
Oh,
entire
yeah.
thing. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, going back to the trolls that pretend like they come out of their mom knowing all of this shit right off the bat, and you're pathetic for asking questions or making a mistake.
Well, if you get out and do things enough, you're going to have screw ups. You're going to make mistakes, and better to do it now than when your life, is actually in the balance.
Oh, yeah. Well, dude, okay, so one of mine, just one of the many, I'm a big lanyard guy, dude. I wanna put a lanyard on anything, especially if it's a big, like a chopper. If it doesn't come with a lanyard hole, I wanna drill a hole in the handle to put a lanyard on it. But my, SE6 that I keep on my chest rig, I had a lanyard on that, and I was really proud of it until I was going on a patrol one day and I bailed out the screen door there, and the handle on the screen door hooked my lanyard. And I turn around, and the screen door had disarmed me of my SE6. It was hanging on the handle of the screen door when I turned around. So the lanyard came off.
Yeah.
Don't need anything like that going on. And until then, I mean, it was great. It gave me an extra strap to hold on to my knife with until it was used against me by a screen door.
Right. It's ridiculous. Oh man. 72 minutes running. So we've basically made a made for TV movie here, dude.
All right, man. I think we went long last time too.
Yeah. I guess we can wrap this one up. Again, I'm going to mention the Modern Frontierman's Patreon is up in the top of this chat, and it's a free year subscription to his Patreon with exclusive content. And he'd asked me to toss that up tonight because he's been getting dinged by YouTube, and so that was just a nice little deal for anybody watching this live stream tonight. Click that link, and it should come up in the chat when the whole thing completely reloads tomorrow, where you can go and review the live chat. Hopefully that'll still pop up, but it's a year behind a paywall, for free. So go help Josh out and go hit up the old Patreon.
Yeah, and in the freest country in the world, you have to dance around the First Amendment to keep from getting clapped. Yeah,
Even by
makes
computers at
sense
this
to
point.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right, guys. Well, I think we're gonna hop off here, and we'll try to be back next week, or we try to keep this semi regularly. Last week, I
Yeah.
just wasn't feeling good, and crap was just busy
And I
week.
think it was on Valentine's Day, wasn't it?
I think, yeah, it was also Valentine's Day, but we could have done it, the next day or whatever. It's just one of them. It was just a busy week, busy weekend type of thing. So yeah, we'll catch you all next week, and we appreciate y'all watching.
Absolutely. Take it easy, guys. Be safe.
Be safe
Yeah.
and be good boys and girls.